I love talking about congruence and authenticity, but I often shy away from it for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's overdone, often by people who couldn't be authentic if their businesses depend upon it. And secondly, because sometimes I get sucked into that urban myth that authenticity should be obvious. If you have to say it, you've got a problem. This is a valid point. Your authenticity and your congruence, or your lack thereof, should be evident in the way that you behave, the actions you take, and the way that you treat people. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't be having conversations about it. I believe when we lack congruence between our thoughts, our beliefs and our values and the way that we behave and the actions that we take, then we create a real problem for ourselves, both internally and in the way that others respond to us. I want to really focus on the internal disconnect here. But first, a few words about the external impact. If you don't believe what you're doing, it shows, and people won't be able to connect with you. They may not know why, they might just feel that something's off. At a neurological level, they won't feel safe. They probably won't trust you. Their limbic brain will be saying, get me out of here, it's not right. And if they consciously know that they don't believe you, then you've got a bigger problem still. Just to be clear here, I don't buy into that fake it till you make it mentality one bit. I prefer you can fool some of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time. Now, before you get tempted to run out and do that, to say something or claim something inauthentic, remember this. Fool anybody and get found out and your reputation is shot. And there's already enough smoke and mirrors in the business world, isn't there? Don't add to it. Now back to the internal impact. Why I think congruence is the antidote to being a bottleneck in your own business, or in your life for that matter. As I'm swapping between the two terms, I just want to clarify what I mean. Congruence is where something is similar to or comfortably coexists with something else. For example, my actions are congruent with my values. So here's an example. I believe in non-judgmental kindness, yet the other day, someone pulled out of their drive straight into the path of my car. She saw me, she stuck 2 fingers at me, and then carried on driving. I had to brake. I was slightly taken aback by her response, but really I wasn't inconvenienced. Now in that moment I had a choice in how I reacted. I could have responded by cursing back, by gesticulating or by feeling angry. All of those might be considered appropriate, but not congruent with my value of kindness. In fact, I had no idea what was going on in her world. I chose to smile and carry on. Now I'm not saying I'm a saint or anything. Another day I might have responded differently. But I wouldn't have felt pleased with myself or proud of myself because I would have done something incongruent with who I believe I am. Authenticity, on the other hand, is about being true. It's about being real or valid. So if a person's authentic, what you see of them is what you expect to see. They live by their values and they behave in a way that's congruent with who they claim to be. Now, I think this is largely about presence. It's about having the courage to stand up for what you believe, and it's having the confidence to stand out from others. So if I'm being authentic, I speak my mind, but kindly. For example, a friend asked me the other day if I liked her new dress on her. I did not. Don't you hate it when that happens? Now, it might sound trivial, but it's these seemingly trivial moments that trust is built and trust is broken. Now, I'm not good at the bluff or small talk, and anyone who knows me can tell if I'm fluffing around an issue. So what to say? I can see why you chose it, I said. It's a great colour on you. Kind and truthful. I'm not so keen on the shape, honest. I think you look nicer in a straighter style, constructive. She said she'd asked me because she already doubted her choice. Phew. Do you know though, if I'd tried to protect her feelings or our mutual discomfort, I'd have seriously harmed our relationship. Yet this is what we do to ourselves all the time when we behave in a way that's incongruent or inauthentic with who we believe we are. Congruent people are true to themselves. They look inward for reference, they're self-aware, and they're usually emotionally intelligent. When you behave in a manner that's not congruent with who you believe you are, it's really easy to create a cognitive disconnect between what you think and how you show up. The trouble is, neurologically, your limbic brain is onto you. Your physiology will likely give you away. Think about this. If you have to stand up and give a pitch about yourself or your business and you hate speaking in front of groups of people, it's probably going to show, however well rehearsed you are. You may look uncomfortable, you may speak in a higher pitch than usual or faster than usual, you might fidget, and so on and so on. On the other hand, think about what you believe. If you think you're no good at public speaking, which is different to not liking it, by the way, a whole load of questions are going to interfere with your performance. Can they hear me? Am I interesting? Are they listening? And so on and so on. If you don't believe in something, don't make it part of your business, and certainly don't try and shoehorn it into who you say you are. I see so many people who think they should do this and should do that, especially in relation to how they grow or promote their business. And yet when these shoulds are not congruent with the authentic beliefs they have about themselves, one of two things happens. Firstly, and least often, you do them, but you do them half-heartedly or badly. And if you're lucky, you get away with not damaging yourself or your business. Secondly, and much more frequently, you put off doing them, you make excuses, you create bottlenecks because those around you expect you to do what you've said you're going to do and you don't feel right about doing it. Business is increasingly values driven, it's purpose orientated, it's not about making a fast buck. People are increasingly looking to connect, to trust, to belong, especially if you sell yourself or your expertise in some way. This is just as true, by the way, for people with a team. I think that the only way to create an authentic business is actually to be authentic in everything. This means that congruence is king. If something's important to you, if you really believe in it, you're much more likely to rock up and do what needs to be done, however scary or uncomfortable that might feel to you. So here's a bit of homework. Have a look at what you do in your business. Have a look at your marketing, your sales, your customer service. Are you clear about your values, your beliefs and your goals? And does what you actually do fit with them? Now be super honest with yourself. What fits, what doesn't? This isn't me giving you permission to stop doing essential business activity. You have to do marketing, you have to ask for the sale, you have to be able to coherently explain what you do to people. This is me saying find a way to do it congruently, so it feels like part of who you are. Go back to the pitching yourself example. If you're uncomfortable because your elevator pitch feels fake, that's very different from being uncomfortable because you're inexperienced at speaking or you don't like being the centre of attention. Fix or ditch the things that aren't congruent and practice doing the things that you know that you need to do in a way that feels true to who you are and what your business is about. Tell your story if you want to. Help people connect with you by being real. Be vulnerable where it's appropriate and let people share your journey. This way, you get less uncomfortable about doing business your way. And congruence becomes the antidote to your bottleneck behaviours. If you'd like to share your insights, we'd love to hear from you in the Brave Virtual Co-work group.